7 minutes after 7 on Wednesday, September 3rd, and as promised, Joe Visconti.
Hey, how are you?
I appreciate you coming back on. It's been a while since we spoke, and you're hanging in there. ViscontiForGovernor.com.
That's me, buddy.
Now, Joe, let's just hit the ground running. How do you respond? I've said nice things about you on the air. I like you. I like what you're standing for and a lot of what you're saying. But there are Republicans, many Republicans, who like you too. But their thing is, no. We got to all be behind the same one guy. A vote for Joe is a vote against Foley. So, in essence, it's a vote for Malloy. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, we've been responding for that for a while. First, they couldn't believe we could get on the ballot.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of firewalls. I've had a breakthrough. Right now, I think as the media starts to gather attention to our campaign and the issues start to become dominant, and you start to see me perform on stage with Governor Malloy and Tom Foley, there'll be no doubt in many people's minds that I know the issues. I'll articulate the issues. I've been elected before in West Hartford as a counselor. Tom never has.
Yeah.
I've run for Congress. I spent a year in a chip trail against John Larson. So I'm really deep into knowledge, into details. I'll be giving Governor Malloy a run for his money on stage. Tom Foley's going to look very weak, and I think the debates are going to shape the public opinion totally different than you're seeing today. Right now, of course, they're going to say, you can't win, or if you could win, you're going to hurt Tom Foley. My number one aim is to actually take away more votes from Malloy than Foley, and that's something no one's addressing right now.
Oh, no,
we have the rank and file union members. They're not going to Tom Foley, and they don't want to go to Governor Malloy. They have nowhere else to go. We're talking guys that are tradesmen, not just public unions, but construction unions, people out of work, people aren't working on the bridges. I'm a regular tradesman guy. I've spent 40 years in the business from every aspect of construction, so I'm that basically no-collar worker. We go to work, he's got a T-shirt sometimes on. So that's going to be sound in these hard economic times, but the details, Vinnie, are going to be what's going to help me go all the way, because Governor Malloy won't address the details. Tom Foley, I don't know if he knows them. And so it doesn't become me necessarily against both of them, but the public has to see you. And when they see you perform, and within 30 days, I could have the name recognition of the other two. Voters are going to then have to decide the button-up Republicans or the button-up Democrats. We probably won't get them. They're going to want the status quo. But we're looking for the unlikely voters, which we know are in the hundreds of thousands, that have already told us on the trail getting signatures, we want something else. We weren't coming out to vote. We can't stand either, not just the parties, but what we're given. So the unlikely voters hopefully will be sampled in the future polls. That plus media coverage and debates will start to turn the minds of people thinking, hey, this guy's not a spoiler. I think I'm going to vote for him for governor.
Yeah. Let me see if I understand it correctly, too. Just going back about 2 minutes there. And again, we're on with Joe Visconti right now. Is it safe to say, and correct me by all means if I'm wrong, I thought it was interesting when you said, look, everybody keeps saying a vote for me is a vote taken away from Foley. Why can't it be a vote taken away from Malloy as well? It's a good point. And that said, Joe, would you be okay? Would you be comfortable with if it's and then if Foley emerges victorious, just as well, as long as it's not Malloy? Or are you feeling like, man?
No. This is all. I've known Tom for a long time, and we've been on stage together. We've debated for or forums they call it across the state this year. So we all know the issues. This guy is gone. Governor Malloy, just so you know the numbers, and I've got numbers incoming from a lot of different sources that are coming to me, even from Democrats. And Malloy right now is actually at 34. He's not at 38. Pelto would have pushed him down to 28. We're looking to push the governor to 28 to 29, which is why you see Clinton here, Bill Clinton here today. You're seeing Biden and the president will come. He's completely finished. Foley, and this is his challenge. This is Tom's challenge. If he can't perform, he will let Malloy back in the race like he let McKinney. We can't let Tom Foley let Malloy back in the race. This is my greatest fear, and a lot of the people that are behind me. What if Tom keeps faltering, shooting himself in the foot, messing up, not doing his homework, not being able to be aggressive? People want political blood. They're losing their jobs. They're losing their homes. They're leaving the state, and they're like, will somebody fight? Will somebody take a shot at the governor on stage so they can just sit back and play by the Queen of Marksbury rules? No one wants that. So Tom Foley's objective for him to win, he's going to have to perform like he has to fight for this. I'm going to force him to fight for this, and if he doesn't, he's not going to win. But the big thing to understand is that he's probably at 42. There's a huge percentage, about 17 to 20%, that don't know who they want. And we're looking to grow that, push Tom into 35. Yeah. And Tom may push himself into 35 by his performance or lack of performance. So I can't tell you what the future holds, but this is a live event, and it's not going to be like anything you've ever seen.
When is it now?
Well, November 4th. It's a live event.
Is a debate scheduled between you three?
Well, yeah, the schedules are coming in right now. There's a host of them coming up.
Okay,
some of them Tom Foley may be playing rope-a-dope, not committing to. It won't matter because I will call the governor up, and him and I will be on stage with or without Tom Foley. He can't dictate the place and time of battle anymore. I'm in the game. I'm going on stage toe-to-toe to Governor Malloy. It's going to be something. I mean, the governor's going to have his hands full. He's an attack dog. He's a pit bull. I'm a fighter, man. It's going to be something people are going to want to see, and it's not going to be over the top. What it will be is actually pushing Malloy back on his issues and the numbers he speaks about. Everybody knows what he's delivering. What he delivered in Norwich to Tom Foley. I mean, he was just making stuff up. And Tom didn't call him out. And so anyone that didn't know about the numbers is going, Tom, we say something, and, well, we need a different kind of this. We didn't know. Those generalities are not going to work. Savvy voters want to know, well, what's the story? We know we didn't get our $55 back. There's smoke and mirrors. Vince just said we're still downgraded. Vince reporting because of our smoke and mirrors and playing with the budget. So people want to know those details, not just gotcha issues.
Yeah. I like the sentiment of if Foley wants you, you're going to make him fight for it. It just you bring him to fight for the whole thing. Yeah,
he has to fight for his political life right now. And why is that important? Because Tom is a very smart man. I mean, he flies a plane. He's made a lot of money. I like the man. He's a good guy. I'm not sure why he isn't aggressive enough. Those are things that each candidate is made of. But I can tell you, I'm 17 months. This Friday will be 17 months in the race for me. That's how long I've been in the race.
Yeah.
The day they signed the gun bill, while I was signing the gun bill, I registered to run for office, April 4th, 2013. And what I've heard across the state, this is why Mueller's numbers are so bad, I've never heard such vitriol, such hate, such anger. Even times I had to say to people getting signatures, listen, folks, we know we don't like the governor, but you gotta tone it down a little bit. And why is that? Because they've been hurting so bad, and they wouldn't have blamed Malloy if he had just smiled and been nice, but he was so mean and just so the way he's treated people with disrespect, different voter blocks, get in line to the gun voters, the teachers. You just show up. It's just this mean guy when people are down, and his unlikability is really what's sunk in. His field policies, people probably would have swallowed. They would have swallowed some of them, but they can't deal with a public service.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting statement. You know what I like? At ViscontiForGovernor.com, flipping through, seeing helping seniors stay in Connecticut is an issue. That's a key one because so many of them had a goal of fleeing the state as it is.
Judicial reform is the biggest one. I mean, it's unbelievable. We haven't rolled out all the details because I keep getting my issues lifted by Foley and others. So we will put them out in due season. In the next 6 weeks, you'll see all the details of what you're watching on the website. Judicial reform is unbelievable for the foreclosure, what we call mortgage laundering. I read the Riot Act to the Supreme Court. That video you've got to take a look at. I stood in front of them and delivered 5 minutes of how can the #1 foreclosure mill have a seat at the table for making the rules on foreclosure. And so, the things we'll be going after, people are going to be very excited about, because without the courts really being revamped and getting away from conflicts of interest with lawyers, you'll find no justice in Connecticut. It's already been happening. So that's another one. But a big thing, Vinny, I think you're going to really like is this Thursday. People may not know I've done a lot of theater. I've been trained in New York, and I've done a lot of work with acting and mentoring for the Hartford Children's Theater.
I got to tell you, I didn't know that, but looking at some of your photos, looking at some of the photos on the website, I can tell you're definitely a theatrical guy.
The American Shakespeare Theater Revival. Right now there's 5 proposals in Stratford from the city of Stratford, and one of the groups I contacted, I heard about it. So we have a press conference coming up Thursday. It's a beautiful facility, 50 acres on the water. It needs to come back, and there's some really great companies that want to take it over. The state is, the people are going to be looking to the state for some of the money, but they have 12,000 visitors a week at Stratford. And so the arts and tourism are huge, and this is another issue we're going to start pushing hard, because we do give money to the arts. We give them to the Guard. We give them to the, even Mystic Seaport. There's a lot of grants going around, but we need to do, my new term, I ripped off Governor Malloy, shared investment in the arts and tourism, because if you see what he's doing and the favorites they play, there's so many things that need some help. So we're not all about just slashing the budget. And by the way, I will put a budget out before the election. No other candidate will. So we're going to give them the hard numbers. If there had to be tax increases because unions won't come to the table, then I will tell you that. But you're not going to get this shuck and jive. We won't tell you what's happening. People just want to know. Just tell us the truth. Either we're going to get a U-Haul and get the hell out of here, or we're going to stay in Connecticut, and they want to know that. And they're just very, very, very upset because they don't know how they're already living with family members. People have pulled together in Connecticut. And why should you leave your home state with all your family? And this is a big, big problem right now.
No, that's it. And I like that you're tackling Common Core on the website as well. And the line, testing is not learning, is a key line. It's a very important line.
I'm not a fair weather person either. With the gun rights, I've carried a gun for 30 years. With Common Core, 7 or 8 years ago on town council as a liaison to the education committee in West Hartford. We do great education. I mean, I publicly bombed what I call the education cartel way before Common Core. That was federal bureaucrats, think tanks, social engineers, union bosses, not necessarily teachers, that have been conspiring one big program, federal after the other. And they don't work from the top down. You need local control. Kids don't want it. Teachers don't want it. I mean, we've got anti-Common Core shirts we've been wearing when we get signatures, and just this weekend at the Goshen Fair, at the Woodstock Fair, swarmed by teachers when they see our shirts walking through the festivals going, how do we get a shirt? How do we stand up? So they're actually coming out of the political closet, teachers that don't want it right now, and we're drawing them. Tom Foley was all in 2010 for it. On my website, we'll have his link. It's already on the internet, called Vote Smart for Tom Foley. He said in 2010 he wanted to build on Common Core. Well, he's moved now to, I only wanted underperforming schools, not realizing, Tom didn't realize, to do that you have to align with it in every school. And so he doesn't even know the law. Now he recently, within a week ago, said, I don't know where I stand on it. I mean, the guy is just, he's not even taking a hard enough position to flip-flop. He's beyond flip-flopping. And again, Tom's got to get real on where he stands. He cannot win trying to just be on the fence, hoping I'm not Dan Malloy. Newsflash, Tom Foley, Joe Visconti is not Dan Malloy either.
You're fired up, Joe. I love it. Rebuilding Connecticut one job at a time is the homepage for ViscontiForGovernor.com. Let's keep you on, regularly as we get closer and closer, especially when your budget is prepared and when you know the debate dates. Let's stay in touch.
We're around all the time. You got my contact, and we'll be there. Like I said, we're working hard on the street. And listen, Jonathan Felt, I'm upset he didn't get in. I'm very upset. Jonathan was really worked hard, but he did say something. Democracy has its consequences. And if Connecticut voters don't start to get informed, they may get somebody they don't want in Dan Malloy. And Dan Malloy is gone from the picture. Everyone really needs to know the Democrat machine is so concerned right now they can't bring him back. Of course, a lot of people are saying Joe will be a spoiler and put him in. That's not what's going to happen. In the next 64 days, you're going to see things that just going to blow you away. And they need to be done because we can't have people sitting home. Vinnie, they got to come out. Pay attention and come out to vote November 4th. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Joe, thank you, buddy.